Check, check, check. Check, check. Anyone hear me? Cool. Hey, what's up, Ryan? How you doing, man? How's the audio? I got a lot of stuff going on in here. I got a exhaust fan and some birds that'll be gone for tomorrow, but just kind of trying to test some things out. I'm hanging in there, just having a little fun with the new laser tonight. Figured I'm out here doing some testing and, like I said, getting ready for tomorrow. So I don't know if you know, but I'm going to be going live tomorrow with Monport for Black Friday. We're going to be giving this laser away. Cool. Hey, do you hear the exhaust fan or the chiller? It's kind of like it just sounds like a fan. I'm wondering if my mic's picking it up or not. Okay, cool. Yeah, the birds are going to be gone tomorrow. They are gone. Have you guys ever watched my channel before? Okay, cool. Well, what I was going to say is that usually I'm in my garage, hence my channel name, and I have all my lasers in my workshop in my garage. But for this, I'm inside my house. I'm in my craft room. So this is a little desktop laser. It's not that little, but I mean it's a desktop laser. So I've got it set up in my house. So I'm in a little bit different situation than I normally am. So that's one of the reasons why I'm out here just kind of doing a test live just to see how everything sounds. I got these birds going on for a little bit here, but got my exhaust. I've got an air filter in here that's venting all the fumes out. So cool. So, all right, cool. So Nemo from Modesto. Hey, that's not too far from me. I'm in Southern California, but how do you like the 90 watt Twisted? Do you have the like what bed size do you have? Like 24 by 36 or what? All right, sorry about that. I was just loading a new piece of material here. Just running some material test cards on a bunch of different stuff. I'm just got this Reno 45 Pro about a week ago, and just been playing with it a little bit. And one of the things I like to do every time I get a new laser is just to go ahead and make these cards just on various materials, so I know so I know what to expect. So I figure, hey, might as well bring everyone along, or a few people anyway. I know a bunch of people aren't going to be on here, but all right. So I'm doing 30. This is actually a 3mm basswood. I'm gonna try 25 to 35 millimeters a second. Save that frame. All right, let's go ahead and start that. Cool, Twisted. You'll be there in the live tomorrow. Let me catch up on the chat here. Sorry, I wasn't looking at my screen. So Brian, you got an S1. Okay, cool. 40 watt S1. Nemo. Okay, an electrician. Good. That's an awesome trade, man. You have a CNC router, a 4x8. Oh wow. And Let me try this. I just bought a fiber laser. Whoa, wait a minute. So you got, okay, so how big is your garage, man? How big is this thing? You got a 4x8 CNC, and then you got a 5x10 fiber laser CNC. So you cut like steel or something with that? Oh, cool. Twisted. Yeah, the 24x36 is a great size. I had one of those. And Brian, you're in Golden, British Columbia, right? Cool. Wow. Hey, thanks, Nemo. What the heck? You didn't, come on. You didn't need to do that. Hey, thank you very much. You didn't have to do that, though. I appreciate it, though. But thank you. You're welcome. Hey, you know, we all have to, you know, we're all trying to learn here together. I don't know everything, that's for sure. So, we all got to stick together and just try to just help each other out. That's the way I feel about it anyway. Oh, cool, Brian. So you got an X-Carve and X-Tool Pro D1. Very nice. That is crazy. What do you do with that? What do you do with the fiber, the 5x10? Like, do you like fabricate I don't know, just parts for other businesses? Or you got to be doing something industrial with that, right? That thing's huge. I'm just going to change out this card here. All right, I'm going to switch over. I want to do an engraving test on this now. Okay, so change that. I'm going to go to my material settings. I got to change this to fill. 0.09 line interval. Let's see here. Let's try the maximum 600, 300 to 600. I like to just get these even numbers, 300, 350, 400. I was just playing with the count there. I'm going to go 10%, 30. Text settings, it's fine. Order setting. Making sure all my settings are good here. Save this for later. All right, that should be good. Nemo, what do you make with it though? Like you're obviously cutting out like plate steel, I would assume, right? So are you like fabricating parts for like other companies? Do you have a business that you use that for? I mean, you got to be doing something crazy with that. Let me know. Curious. Twisted, you're gonna do. Oh, okay. So you're gonna get the GI 60. What's up, Adam? How's it going? So, Nemo, this laser I'm playing with right now is the Monport Reno 45 Pro. It's their new desktop model. So it's 45 watts. It's a fairly small, compact CO2 laser. It's got a 12 by 16 inch bed. So fairly good size. Enough to do quite a lot of projects. And I've only had it for about a week now. So I haven't had a whole bunch of time to play with it because I've just been really busy with work and getting orders out and stuff like that, because me and my wife have a laser engraving business, and we just have a whole bunch of stuff going on right now, as is expected with this time of year. So I'm just taking a little bit of time tonight to go ahead and do some test cards, play with this thing a little bit more, and just kind of get everything ready for the Black Friday stream tomorrow. Just making sure I got everything set up in my software and audio's good. Like I said, there's a few more people in here now, but you know, if you're familiar with my channel at all, you'll know that I do all of my work in my garage. And switch the camera here. My business is run out of our garage, out of our home, so we've got a bunch of machines in there. It's pretty full, so I'm running out of room. So I decided, why not bring this inside the house? I got an air purifier hooked up to it, so I wanted to test that. I've never used one of those before, so it's working great. I'm engraving wood right now. I've been cutting basswood just past 20 minutes or so, and I don't smell anything right now. It's working pretty good, actually. So just thought I'd bring everyone along. And that's right. So no, I don't do this full time. I have a full-time job, and my wife, however, does run our business full-time. So this is her main job. I help her out all the time, of course, but I do have a full-time job. So it's Thanksgiving right now, and I got tomorrow off, so I'll be working, helping her out with projects and catching up on work that we have going on right now. But no, I do not do this full time. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, this wasn't planned or anything. Oh, and I don't know if you guys have you guys seen like any of the promotion stuff we've been doing for the live stream? Just out of curiosity, there's been a whole lot of stuff, but any of you guys on the Facebook group, the Monport group, or follow on Instagram, anything like that? Just kind of curious who saw it. But if you didn't see it, you're here now. Come on by tomorrow, because at 3 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to be back live with Monport on their channel and on my channel. And we're going to give one of these away. So we're giving away 3 light burn licenses. Excuse me. And also 1 Reno Pro. So pretty cool. Here's the card I just ran. This thing's got some power. I'm actually surprised. This is really deep. This is, this is just basswood plywood, so it's very soft, and I'm engraving really deep at 30% power and 300 millimeters a second, 600 millimeters a second, even at the top here. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm good with this material. I'm going to go ahead and put in something else here. Pins are a little bit too big for this bed. All right, so hold on one second. Let me get this set up real quick. This is 5 millimeter MDF core walnut, so it's almost about a quarter inch, almost a quarter inch. This stuff's pretty tough to cut, so I haven't tried this yet. We'll do it. Whoops. I'm gonna name this. Change this to cut. Now let's see here. This. This is really tough material to cut. MDF, you guys ever cut MDF before? It's nice because it's flat and it's really stable. And there's no voids or anything in it. But it's also tough to cut because it's basically just like, compressed dust, and they mix glue with it and, put it under a lot of pressure and heat it up and whatever it forms like that, however they do that. But it's really dense. It's really solid. So in a lot of ways, I like cutting it and I use it all the time, but it is tough. So I'm curious to see how this 45 watts going to handle it. This, the air filter I'm running twisted is it's from Monport. There's the smallest one they have. It's like, let me see which one it is here. It's, they go by like wattages. They categorize them by wattage or something. Excuse me real quick. It is the 150 watts, I believe here. Yeah, it's 150 watt air purifier from Monport. It's $2.99 and it's working pretty good. Okay, so you heard about this in the Monport group. Cool. Yeah, no problem, Nemo. If you're talking about the Reno Pro, it's on sale right now. It's $14.99, about $1,500. Which, yeah, I mean, it's not bad for like for a desktop model. Excuse me, for a desktop model. CO2, like you can buy a 40 watt diode laser for around $1,500, and you're going to get a 400 by 400 millimeter bed, which is basically like 15 by 15. So this is 12 by 16, so a little bit different configuration. But you're also getting a CO2, so you're getting a lot more cutting power, but you're also going to be able to do acrylics, right? So that you wouldn't be able to do with the diode. So this does fit. There's really nothing like this out there that I've seen in this price range. I mean, back in the day, and even now, I mean, the K40s are what this would be, I guess, is closely like matched to this. I mean, that's a 40 watt CO2 laser, but those things, the bed is like, I don't know, what are the, I've never had one before. I've never had one, but they're like 8 by 12 or something like that, or maybe a little bit smaller and a little bit less wattage, just kind of like more of a utilitarian, like clunky design. This one's like designed, pretty sleek. It's got, all the stuff you want built into it, air assist. It's got, your red dot pointer, a little bit of a focusing probe, which is a pretty cool design. The lights, all that stuff on a K40 you have to add on. Oh, the controller accepts light burn too. So like all that stuff with the K40s you have to kind of add on and do yourself and kind of mod them if you want to make them up to this standard, but you're still getting a smaller bed. So that's why this thing's pretty cool. Oh, so you have wow, you're using that with the 150 watt air purifier with your 90 watt, huh? All right, let's see how this did. So not bad. I just forgot to change my layer for the border. So I'm going to go ahead and run that again. I want to be able to cut these out so I can save them and reference them later if I need to. So what's up, everyone? I guess looks like we got some new people on here. I can't see like who is in the chat, so I just can see like how many viewers there are. So say what's up. Just doing a little testing here tonight. Just working on my setup for the stream tomorrow. So check this out. This actually cut pretty dang good. So this is 5mm or just about 1/4 inch MDF core plywood. So it is a layer of MDF, and it's got a very thin veneer of walnut on the front and back. And this is cutting out, I mean, maximum at 9mm a second at 60%, but you know, we're probably looking at being around here in the middle, in the sweet spot. So about 7mm a second, 45-50% power. That's pretty good. Like I said before, this stuff's not easy to cut. So that's actually pretty impressive, especially, you know, especially considering, I mean, this laser has air assist, but I mean, it's just the, you know, it's just the stock aquarium pump that's always on. I mean, it's probably putting out like, I don't know, 1 or 2 PSI, like very, you know, it's not very powerful. Like, you know, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's like all lasers. I mean, but I bet if I hooked up an air compressor to this thing, put shop air on it, I mean, that's going to make it run even that much better. But look at the, like, there's not very much charring either. So pretty impressive. Let's see here. I think I'm going to do some acrylic. Let's try cutting and engraving some acrylic. I'm going to reload and try that. And I'm using user origin in Lightburn to control this right now. So what I'm doing is I'm just, you know, putting the red dot where I want it. In this case, the upper left corner. I'm pressing the origin button on the controller on the machine, and that's gonna be the spot where I'm doing this test. Now I think so. This is 3mm clear acrylic. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna go a little bit faster than that 5mm MDF. Let me go 7, 13. I'm gonna keep the power levels the same. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Frame. Should have changed the engraved, set the text settings a little bit, but we'll see how this does. Hey, thanks, Matthew. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by right now. This is just impromptu. I wasn't even planning on doing this, but thanks for stopping by. This is just kind of like real-time testing here. Brand new machine, haven't put that many hours on it, so I'm just running a lot of new materials here that I haven't tried on this thing and bringing everyone along for the ride. How's everything sound? I know I got birds in the background. That's not going to happen tomorrow. They're going to be out of the house just for the day, but I bet they're coming through kind of heavy. But how's my audio? Do you guys hear the chiller? The chiller is like probably the loudest thing besides the birds, but I mean, the chiller is probably the loudest thing I got going on, but I try to put it as far away back from my microphone as I could. And it's not loud, but I mean, it's probably like 55 decibels, maybe something like that. Sometimes I don't know what my mic picks up and what it doesn't pick up, so. Oh, okay, great. Cool. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. That's like one of my, I don't do a lot of streams. I want to do more of it. It's kind of fun, but you know, I've only done a handful of them, and it's always a little nerve-wracking when you're trying to figure out what you're doing the day that you're trying to do the stream, because it always happens like where something doesn't connect, or you know, my camera doesn't work, or I don't know. It's just, I've had that happen before where I'm just scrambling like 10 minutes before we're trying to reboot my computer and stuff. So I gotta say, I am using the 150 watt. Let me share my screen. Let me see if I can. Remove that. Yeah, so this is the extractor that I'm using, and it's pretty small. Like it looks bigger in this picture, but it's like the size of like almost, I don't know. It's only like 15 inches tall and like a foot wide, like 12 inches wide, 12 inches deep, like a cube. It's pretty small. And I just cut this acrylic and engraved some of the text here. And I don't even smell it, which is pretty impressive, because acrylic stinks. So let's check this out. So that cut really well. Cut out every square that is pretty much dropped out. I'm going to peel the back off here. Clean this off. We're going to see what we can pick up here. Oh, come on, baby. This is going to be hard to focus. There we go. So we blew right through this at 13 millimeters a second, even at 30%. So I'm going to redo this test here. I'm going to crank up those speeds. And get back into light burn. But yeah, let's crank up those speeds. I'm going to have my minimum be 15. I'm going to go up to 25. 24. Nope. Come on. 26. How about that? $27. Oh my goodness. Let's see, I got 7. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's I'm going to do a little bit bigger card on this one. Okay, so power-wise, I'm going to turn this down. I try not to run glass tube CO2 lasers higher than 50% power. If I can avoid it. Just to save the tube, you know. Now, my text on this was a little hazy. And I think that's because I had a little bit too much power here. So I'm gonna increase my speed to 400 millimeters a second. I'm gonna leave the line interval the same. And change my border setting too, because let's see, 15%. Yeah, that should cut just fine. Save this for future reference. Preview one more time. Because the next thing I'm going to do is make sure I'm framing on the card here. The next thing I'm going to do is do an engrave test with this acrylic. So what's up, Bogdan? Hey, what's up? I am using the extractor. I'm not venting out. I'm in my house. I'm in my dining room, which is our craft room. So this is inside my house, next to my kitchen, and I have got just that 150 watt Monport fume extractor going on this, and it's working very well. I'm shocked how well it's working. Actually, I did not think it was going to work this well. Even with this acrylic, I mean, I'm just running test cards right now, but I don't smell any acrylic, and acrylic is notoriously, you know, stinky. So pretty happy with it. And and Twisted's using one too. He's using the 350 watt, so the big boy. But he said he likes his too, so All my other lasers in my shop, I vent them outside, just because I run them so much. I think if you can vent outside and it's not an issue, like with your neighboring businesses or your neighbors or anything like that. I think venting outside is probably the best way to go. It is for me anyway, just because you don't have to spend the money on replacement filters, because I'm sure those things clog up. I don't know. Obviously, it depends on how much you're cutting, but if you're cutting every day like we do, I mean, I bet you got to buy a filter pack every month, probably. I don't know Twisted. How often do you run yours? How often do you got to buy a new filter pack for that thing? What's up, Dennis? Good morning. Good morning from Germany. Wow. Thanks for joining. Like I said, it's almost midnight here in the U.S. California is where I'm at, West Coast. Just kind of playing around right now. Hopefully, it's going to be tough for you, Dennis, being over there. It's going to be nighttime tomorrow, or late night, or early morning. But tomorrow at 3 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard, we're going to be going live for Black Friday here in America. And we're going to be giving away this laser. And this is going to be, just so you know, this isn't just like a US based contest. I mean, this thing's coming directly from Monport. I'm not boxing mine up and sending it out. Like, they're going to send it. So wherever Monport ships is where this baby's going to go. So it's pretty cool. So, I mean, definitely Germany. I mean, they ship all over the world. I don't know anywhere that they don't ship. So a lot of good chances to win. So we're just messing around tonight, doing some test cards. Tomorrow we're going to do some projects. I'm going to be pre-making some of the components tonight as well, after I kind of figure out some of these settings. But tomorrow we're going to be going into more practical stuff and answer questions, talking business, talking lasers, tips and tricks, whatever you want to talk about. So let me go ahead and grab this test card out. Oops. All right, let me show you here. So this one I got pretty aggressive with. I went from 15 millimeters a second all the way up to 28. And I only cut out down here on the bottom. I cut out at 15 at 40 to 50% power. One pass, of course. So now I know that based off of these cards, I'm going to be wanting to be around the 13 millimeters a second range, probably around like 40% power, I think, for this material. Again, this is 3 millimeter clear acrylic. So that's why we do these, to get an idea of how these are going to perform. And this is actually really, really impressive. That acrylic plus the MDF is Pretty nice. So let's push this thing a little bit. I'm going to take the, actually, before I take the acrylic out, I want to try to engrave. Yeah, let's do that. So what I did there, I don't know if you noticed, I took off the air assist line. I don't normally run any air when I engrave acrylic, because it tends to make it like it gets that cloudy look. I don't know if you noticed on the text that I had on my cut card. It gets it a little cloudy. So I want to see if removing the air helps out with that at all, because usually it does. Almost always with really any of my engravings, I'm not using air, but in other machines, you're able to turn it on and off through Lightburn, and I don't believe you can do that on this machine. I'm going to try that. I don't think you can though, but so to get around that, what I did is just disconnect the air line. And it's just a little quick connection at the laser head. Okay, border setting, let's go 13. Text setting, that should be fine. We'll give that a shot. Save this for later. Frame. Let's go ahead and start this. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, Twisted. Yeah, the air will make your acrylic engravings a little bit foggy, and sometimes you can like wash it off, but anytime you don't have to do any like post-processing on stuff and just get it nice off the machine, that's the goal, right? So, and yeah, that's you're right too. That's what I was saying. Like on my 80-watt Monport CO2 before, so the stock air assist is a constant on. You plug the machine in, you turn it on, and it's spurting out a little bit of air always. Now I did a air assist modification on that where I hooked up a little solenoid and an air compressor. So at that point, I was able to switch it on and off through Lightburn, which is handy for doing stuff like this, because even that small amount of air will kind of cause that fogginess. So yeah, this is looking really, really good. So sorry, just sending an email real quick. Cool, man. Yeah, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? It's surprising how much of a difference an air compressor actually helps on any CO2 laser. I mean, there's even so I have a Thunder Bolt Pro 32, so that's one of their really high-end RF tube lasers, and it comes with onboard air assist. And again, it's a pump. I mean, it's not an air compressor; it's an air pump, I guess you call it, and it's fairly large, but it still only puts out about, like, I don't know, maybe 4 psi, and they have a quick connection port on the back of that where I can hook up an air compressor, and now I'm running around 25 psi, and it makes just such a huge difference cutting, even on that machine. So really, any machine could, benefit from having an upgraded air assist. And I think the reason they come with smaller pumps like that is because they can only fit like so much of a, like, they can only fit like a certain size air pump in those machines, without making them huge. So they're trying to make a compact machine. You can't stick a 3-gallon or a 10-gallon compressor in there. That puts out some real power. All right. Let's give this a shot. All right, here we go. So this isn't reversed. This is the front of the acrylic. This is engraved. It's looking pretty good. I need to change, I think, some of the line interval. This row here, this 10% power row. So 10% power from 300 millimeters a second to 600 millimeters a second is really the look I'm going for, like a frosted white look. But I'm not sure if it's picking up on the camera. Maybe when I so when I put it in the light like that, see the like horizontal lines? That's the scan lines from the laser as it's going back and forth, and that has to do with the line interval. And on this, I was running a 0.9. Let me look. What was I doing on Lightburn? 0.09 millimeter line interval. That's a pretty fat interval, pretty wide. And I a lot of times set these CO2s around that just for speed purposes, because usually in wood it doesn't really matter. But I want to get rid of those lines. So a couple ways you can do that is you can increase your line interval a little bit. I want to get that dot size like just, I don't want it to overlap and I don't want them to be too spread apart because right now I think I'm a little too spread apart and I'm getting that line. Putting in the light here to see. So if I increase my line interval here, I'm going to try that. Or you can defocus, and by defocusing and raising your laser head up or your bed down so you're getting further away from the material, that's going to increase the size of the laser spot, which is going to help those lines to come closer together. And I'm just gonna go to, you don't need much power with acrylic. I'm gonna try to run 8%. I don't know if this laser will fire at 8%. But I'm gonna try. So let's see here. Frame this. Okay. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. Hey, look who's stopping by. All right. How's it going? We're just playing over here. So how's your morning going? Who am I talking to here? So again, if you're just joining me right now, of course, this is just a little fun we're having, little impromptu live. This wasn't planned or anything, just kind of getting some stuff ready to go for tomorrow. And got the big live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific. If you're just joining us, you're not going to want to miss that because we will be giving away this laser for free tomorrow, as well as many other prizes. There's going to be a lot of chances to win. We're giving away 3 licenses to Lightburn, and of course, a Reno Pro 45 watt CO2 desktop machine. So pretty impressive giveaways. Thank you. We are getting pumped over here. I think everyone's pretty excited about it. So I just wanted to jump on tonight as this little impromptu thing, like I was saying, just to kind of get a feel for everything. You know how lives go sometimes. It's good to just kind of run through, and it could be a little crazy on the day of, so it's good to kind of get your stuff squared away beforehand. Plus, I've been so busy with customer orders here this month. I mean, this is always just the craziest month, and we've had some products kind of take off. So I've been me and my wife have just been going nonstop, just really crazy. So haven't had a lot of chance to play with this here. So running some material tests, we're getting the feel for it. So far, everything's been going great. Air purifier. The air purifier is still working good. We've been working with acrylic here for the past, I don't know, what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Done 4 cards, 2 engrave and 2 cut cards. I don't smell any acrylic. And that's pretty good because acrylic stinks. So what are you guys up to tonight? We got someone here from Germany earlier. I think he left. He had to go to work. We got Monport all the way from China, right? You guys are in China right now. A couple from the U.S. I think I want to get through acrylic tonight. I want to get this dialed in, and then the last thing I want to do here is I've got a sheet of. So this is, this is 3mm acrylic right now that I'm using. So it's 1/8 inch, roughly, and I want to see what this thing can do because I'm cutting 1/8 inch comfortably. I'll show you this card again here. So we are cutting 1/8 inch or 3mm acrylic extremely comfortably. I cut out every square. These all dropped out very cleanly from 7mm a second to 13mm a second, and ranging from 30% power to 60% power. So, you know, if I'm running jobs on this, I'm going to be around the probably 10 or 11 millimeters per second and 40 to 45% power, like kind of in this middle zone here. Because even though, you know, I got through up here at my, or not there, but here. So this is my fastest speed and my lowest power. You know, when you're running production stuff, you kind of want to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room because, you know, this material, like, I get my acrylic from a good source, and, you know, but just the way the stuff is made, it varies a little bit thickness wise and stuff like that. So it's always good. I prefer to be a little bit more conservative with my speeds and make sure that I'm actually getting through. So, but where I was going with that is I'm cutting 1/8 inch or 3mm acrylic, you know, around the 11, 12, 13mm per second range, 30, 40, 50% power, no problem. I've got, let's see here. I've got some quarter inch. So this is like, I don't know calipers, but it's like 6. This is a quarter inch, like no crap quarter inch. Like it's like 6 millimeters thick. It's not like, it's not the, let me see here. So this is our MDF core plywood we cut. And this is 5 millimeters. And yeah, this acrylic sheet is a good 6 millimeters. So I'm going to throw this on. Let's look at our engraving first. So this one's looking a lot better. And again, I'm surprised that, let me straighten this out a little bit here. I'm really surprised we are marking at that 8% power range. because usually CO2 tubes, and I guess maybe because this is a 45 watt, it's a lower wattage tube. It's able to fire at those lower percentage points, or like, so this changing up the line interval helped a little bit. I think I could probably go down to like 0.0, maybe try 0.06, and even go down to like 7, like try 6 or 7% power. But oops, it's coming along. I mean, that's what these tests are all about. You have to dial this stuff in. Like, people always ask, like, hey, what are your settings on this and that and whatever, and like, it's hard to answer those questions sometimes because it's totally dependent on your exact conditions. I mean, my Reno 45 Pro in my house, with my optics the way they are set up from the factory, and my particular material that I'm using for my source is going to be way different than maybe what you're using. Like, even though you might be using 3mm clear acrylic, I mean, and you might be using cast acrylic like I'm using here, but they're all going to vary slightly. So you really have to put in the time. If I could get one thing across during this stream, and I'm going to talk about this more tomorrow too, but you have to put in the time to go through all this, so you know exactly what your particular machine does on your specific material. Romania, wow. Cool machine. Monport will also send me one for review. Well, as Monport says, we all have a chance to win tomorrow, giving one of these machines away. And like I said before, I'm not giving away my machine. I'm not going to box mine up and send it away. This is coming from Monport. So, they're going to ship it to whatever country. I'm confirming this with them right now, but correct me if I'm wrong here, Monport, but this is going to be able to go to anywhere Monport ships. So if if they ship them Romania, I mean, there you go. So we're gonna have a good chance to win them all. Plus, of course, we're going to be giving away 3 Lightburn licenses, which is always nice. Even if you already have a license, it's nice to have another code, because I mean, geez, like I have 3. I've had to buy like 3 licenses, no, but more than that, because I have a G code license for diode lasers. I have a Galvo license. I have the DSP license for the CO2 lasers that I have. Plus it's only good on I think 2 or maybe 3 computers. I think it's 2 computers, so maybe it's 3. But I've had to buy another license just because I need to have it on another computer. I mean, sometimes I like to do design work, like at my office at work, or like on my own personal laptop that I'm running a Mac right now because I'm doing the stream and I got this connected to a Mac, but I have another Windows PC that I use all the time. I have another Windows laptop that I use all the time. So like, I have multiple versions of Lightburn, so it's always good to have one. All right, let's try leather. Okay, I don't have leather right now. I might be able to get some for tomorrow. I know I have leatherette for sure. Like those. I have the those little hat patches. So I'll try to grab some of those for tomorrow from my garage, and we'll do a couple leatherette patches. But what I want to do right now, I want to cut this 1/4 inch acrylic. All right, so I went ahead and reconnected my air assist. Let's go back to Lightburn. I'm not gonna do a material test card for this one. So I'm gonna get out of here. Let's just try to cut out a little square. So as you can see, I have got my settings set here on user origin. So I'm going to start my job top left corner. You can see the green square here. That's where my job's going to start. Let's cut this at, let's try 6%, or excuse me, 6 millimeters a second. Let's go 55% power. Go back to our machine here. Give that a frame. Hooked up our air again here, of course. Got the exhaust fan on or refocused. Let's give this thing a test here. I'm not sure if that went through. Let's see. Nope. And that was pretty aggressive. Let's try 3 millimeters a second. Give that a shot. So there we go, a 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch thick. Cut pretty clean. 3 millimeters a second at what was that? 55% power. Yeah, 55% power. Not too shabby, and that's with me focusing to the top of the material too. I was focusing actually, off the. I was focusing to the top of the material. I could have probably dropped the focus, so if I were to raise the bed about 2 millimeters or so, 2-3 millimeters, that would have brought my focal point closer to the center of this material and probably would have helped it cut through a little bit better. But hey, 2 tests getting through, not too bad. I'll take that. Acrylic's tough to cut, especially 1/4 inch. So I don't use any 1/4 inch material for anything, but if you want to make like the biggest thing people are going to use 1/4 inch for is like templates. Well, not the biggest thing, but a big thing that people are going to want to use it for, or making like router templates for cutting board handles, or like, I don't know, whatever products you want to design. Like pretty cool material to do stuff like that. It's very, very thick and very hardy. So okay, cool, Twisted. Do you do hats? I guess I know. I never do hats. I've just played around with leatherette. I've never actually used it in a like production type of sense. All right. I want to try one more thing before I go to bed. Let's load up a new material. All right, so this is cork. I'm going to do a cork coaster. Cork's a pretty cool material. It usually engraves pretty nicely. It doesn't take a lot of power. So let's just go like 5% minimum power, 20% max, 300 to 600 millimeters a second. We're going to make sure we're on fill. We're on fill. Text settings. I want to drop this down, I think. Line interval. Let's go 0.09 on this. Actually, let's go. Oops. Let's go 0.1 millimeter for line interval. Label this is cork. On the frame here. All right, let's run this. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Twisted. Good talking to you. Nice to meet you. I got to get to bed too, man. But I appreciate everyone joining me. This is going to be the last test we're going to do here. Let's see if we can get this engraved on cork. Let's see if we can get this right. But so you can see my setup here. Just got the Reno Pro desktop. Got the chiller. This is actually just the it's a CW3000. So it's they call it a chiller, but it's it's basically like a big water reservoir. I don't think it doesn't actually like chill the water like the 5200 does. I believe that's the model. But it does a really good job for this particular laser. Been very happy with it. And then here you can kind of see it like, where am I going here? Right there. That is the air purifier. So that's the 150 watt fume extractor. Yeah, see on this one, we're not. So I found the limit here. We're not firing at that 5% power. I'm going to stop this test because I can tell it's going to be too powerful. Let me show you. Let me show you the cork. Oops. Switch this up here. So I stopped this because I'm already like, you see here, I'm already like burning this at 600 millimeters a second. It's at 10% here, so I'm gonna have to make a couple adjustments here. Select light burn. Okay, so we were firing at 8 before, so let's go 8 and then 15. My text was looking pretty good. Let's see here. I'm going to change the line interval a little bit. I'm going to spread out. Let's see, zoom in here. So by changing the line interval, I'm changing the distance between the scan lines here. So you can see as I zoom in, these are 0.11 millimeters apart. And I'm doing that because I want to try. I was framing that. Let's go ahead and start that job. Changing that line interval because I want to try to kind of cool down this burn here a little bit. If this doesn't work, what I'm going to try to do is to defocus a little bit. Because of course this is cork. Very soft material. It does not take a lot of power to get through. And you got to remember too that I'll explain this when I pull this out a little bit more, but you know, we're running these higher speeds, but we're kind of running, you know, these squares that we're engraving on this material test are only 5 millimeter square, so 5 by 5 millimeter. So the laser head has to accelerate up to whatever speed I'm telling it to go to. So 600 millimeters per second, for example. And then it's got to lead into that and lead out. So it's got to accelerate and decelerate, accelerate, decelerate over a 5 millimeter area. So the laser head's going, you know, past, it's extending past that 5 millimeter square, you know, a certain amount depending on what speed I'm telling it to go. So you'll notice this on the, I'll show this when I pull it out, but it's probably not getting up to 600 millimeters a second, to be honest, on, you know, or some of these speeds over such a small square. So it's always good to make a larger test. So what I'm going to do with these cards, so here's a good example. Let me switch my screen here. So like here's a card I did earlier. This is like 3 millimeter MDF. You can see here like this. So I'm going from 300 millimeters a second to 610 to 40% power, and I'm, you know, this one's running pretty hot. But you know, I want to be darkness wise, I want to be somewhere over here. So what I would do next with this material is take a couple of these settings and I would make like a larger sample. So I'd actually probably get like a test image, like some sort of graphics, vector graphic that I'd want to engrave, something more realistic, like what I'm actually going to be doing, like a logo or, some text, and I'm gonna like extrapolate that onto a larger piece to test it. And that's going to give me like a more realistic example of actually how fast this thing's going to run, and not only how fast it's going to run, but what it's actually going to look like. Let's check this out. I'm going to get this out here. Also forgot to tell it not to cut this one out, so save that. Okay, so this is looking pretty good at like this 600 millimeters a second. Well, this first row here is all looking good. That's 300 millimeters a second, 8 to 9% power is looking great. So what I would do from this now is I would pick probably like, I'd probably pick like 350, 360 and 9% right here. And I'd go ahead and run a larger image. But you can see down here on the bottom. So my text settings are all the same. Let me go back to Lightburn. Let's see, my text settings are 300, 350 millimeters a second, 15% power. Okay, but let me get my pointer. Okay, so the text here at the bottom and the text here on the side is this. I'm telling it to go the same speed, but these ones down here are lighter. That's because I'm telling this text, I've got it set to fill everything at once. So this bottom text is scanning from left to right over the entire space. So from the 9 to the 13, it's going back and forth, right? So it's actually more realistically getting up to that 350 millimeters per second area. But over here, it's only scanning the width of the 300. So that's like a 1/4 inch. You know, we're talking 7-8 millimeters maybe of width on that. So it's probably going slower than 300 millimeters a second or 600, whatever I'm telling it to do on that. Or 350 is what the text is set at. So it's probably going a little bit slower than 350 because it doesn't have enough time to get up to that speed. So that's why it's going darker, because it's actually running at a slower speed. So you got to be careful with small text like that. That's why this testing is really important to do. If I were to run like 10 inches of text over the entire bed of this, or a lot of the bed of this thing at 350 millimeters a second at 15% power, like I'm doing here, it'll probably be a little bit lighter than what's going on here because I'm actually getting up to that full speed. You know what I mean? Like, got to think about stuff like that. There's lots of variables that take place besides, just what you're typing in the computer. So good to know. All right, let's see if we got any more questions. What is the price of the laser? Okay, so this is $14.99 right now. It's on sale. I think the retail price is about $2,000 US. So right now for Black Friday, it's on sale for $500 off. So pretty good deal. But I think that's it for tonight, guys. I got a few other things to do before I go to bed. It's about 12:30. I don't know if anyone caught this. There's a few people left on here, 9 people left on still, but I'll just let you know that, again, this is just like a kind of an impromptu live stream that I thought I'd do here. Turn my purifier off. Just to kind of test everything out, kind of, get everything going for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Black Friday. So Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific. I'm in California, Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be doing another live stream. This is the real live stream tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. We're going to be talking about lasers. We're going to be talking about the Reno Pro 45. We're also going to be talking about the Mega laser. Okay, we're teasing that. the Mega Laser is like just looks fantastic. So we'll be talking about that, giving a little bit of sneak preview about that, but mainly about the Reno Pro, because this is an awesome desktop unit. Also, I want to talk more about it and show you more about what it can do. I'm gonna have some projects going on tomorrow, not just testing. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. Oh, and the best part is we're gonna be giving away one of these machines. We are giving away a free Reno Pro 45. We're also gonna be giving away some Monport licenses. Maybe also a couple other gifts. We'll see how it goes, to see how kind of how the stream goes, how many people join. So, but I do have some other kind of little secret gifts that I think I can give out. So it's going to be a good time, and really looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me here tonight. I appreciate everybody, and it was a lot of fun. Catch you tomorrow.